ChatGPT 5 was released yesterday, and I've already seen a number of people who are quite upset because they feel like they've lost something. And I think this situation raises an interesting ethical complexity around technology dependence. So, the issue here is that GPT 5 is now the default, and you can't go back to previous models. So, now it's basically a unified system that auto switches between elements of previous models, like reasoning, based on the prompt. But something that I've seen some people saying and being upset about is that it feels like ChatGPT for them has lost its personality, that it feels like there's less emotion, maybe less glazing, certainly. And many people would consider that a very good thing. But for people who have actually become emotionally dependent on ChatGPT, that could actually be devastating. But I also think that the outcome of these changes were entirely intentional. In this post, OpenAI talks about things that they're optimizing for with a focus on healthy use. There have been instances where our 4.0 model fell short in recognizing signs of delusion or emotional dependency. Now, to some extent, this is clearly we're going to determine when someone's in distress and send them to a helpline. There are clearly what people would consider personality changes as well, like ChatGPT shouldn't give you an answer to whether you should break up with your boyfriend or whether your perception that your psychiatrist in love with you is definitely correct. So, in theory, what they're trying to do here, assuming that it's successful, is the kind of harm mitigation that we want them to be doing. I think most people would agree that extreme emotional dependence on a large language model, particularly to the extent that people see it as a real person, is not good. But that's where some people are, which means that people who are already in a quite vulnerable position today might be in extreme distress, feeling like they have lost the one person who cared about them. So you see why I say ethical complexity, like maybe in the end, this is a good outcome even for those people. But also, I think that there's probably more that OpenAI could have done to mitigate this harm in the short term, like better communication about what was going to actually happen, because clearly this complete loss of the old model took a lot of people by surprise. Also, maybe some kind of option for like onboarding. Now, I personally think that people should not be using ChatGPT as a therapist. However, OpenAI knows that people are. And this is one of the reasons why this technology is such an ethical minefield. Because AI developers are just as ethically responsible for the use cases that they didn't intend as the ones that they did.